right, let's get right into it. We're standing on the edge of a brand new revolution in aviation, one that's going to completely change how we get around. And the wild thing is, a huge piece of that future is being designed and built as we speak, right in the skies and workshops of Seattle.
You see this quote? It's the key to understanding everything else we're going to talk about. Because it's not just about making wings sleeker or cabins fancier. No, the real game-changing leaps in flight have always come down to one thing: how we power the plane.
And that brings us right here, to today. We are now, and this is no exaggeration, officially in the third great era. First, you had the piston engine. Then came the jet engine, which completely transformed global travel. And now it's the age of the electric powertrain. And it's promising a future of flight that's cleaner, quieter, and way more accessible than anything we've ever seen before.
So here's our flight plan for this explainer. First, we'll look at how Seattle became the center of this new age. Then we'll dig into the surprising legacy of propulsion, meet the pioneers of electric flight in Washington, unpack the state's really ambitious plan for the future, and finally, talk about what this all means for connecting all of us.
You know, it's really no accident that this whole revolution is taking root in Washington state. The region has such a deep history in aerospace. It's got the talent, the infrastructure, and honestly, the ambition to lead this massive global shift in technology.
But here's the part that really blew my mind. This new electric age, it didn't just pop up out of thin air. There is a direct and frankly amazing historical line that connects the dawn of the jet age in World War II to the electric planes flying over Washington today.
Okay, so let me walk you through this timeline, because it's pretty wild. It all starts way back in 1942 with the test pilot George Watt. Decades later, his work actually inspires the founding of an electric aviation company called magniX. Then, in 2018, they moved their entire operation to Seattle, and just 1 year later, they make history. They pull off the first ever all-electric commercial aircraft flight. The connection is just wow.
And the story of George Watt himself? It's unbelievable. This guy was a test pilot who, get this, willingly blacked out over 100 times in experimental flights just to understand G-force. He then went on to lead the British program to develop the jet engine and was personally tasked with sharing that top-secret tech with the US. That technology became the foundation for GE's very first jet engine. I mean, he didn't just witness the second revolution, he helped light the fuse.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today and see how that legacy is being carried on. We're shifting from that historical inspiration to the actual companies and breakthroughs that are making Washington the undeniable center of electric aviation right now.
So, why Seattle? When magniX, a huge player in this field, decided to pack up and move its headquarters all the way from Australia, they had a reason. They looked at the deep roots in aerospace, the whole ecosystem of brilliant engineers and manufacturers, and they called it what it is, the global hub of aerospace. It was simply the perfect place to build the future. And listen, this isn't just some theory or a drawing on a whiteboard anymore. In 2019, a retrofitted de Havilland Beaver, the E-Beaver, took off powered entirely by a magniX electric engine. Then, just a few months later, they did it again with an even bigger plane, the E-Caravan. These were actual world firsts, proving that commercial electric flight is happening for real, being tested and perfected right over Washington's waters.
Now, this innovation isn't just happening in private workshops and hangars. The state itself is jumping in, feet first. Washington has developed a really detailed official blueprint to bring this new technology into our daily lives, and it's called the Advanced Air Mobility Plan.
So what exactly is Advanced Air Mobility, or AAM? Well, at its core, it's a totally new kind of transportation system. I want you to picture small electric or hydrogen-powered aircraft, a lot of them able to take off and land vertically, kind of like a helicopter, connecting places that our current airline system just doesn't serve very well.
Of course, for all this to work, you need new kinds of airports, right? But it's not all going to be these massive futuristic skyports. The plan actually includes simple vertistops. Think of a single landing pad for a quick drop-off. And from there, it scales up to mid-sized vertiports. And eventually, you'll have these big verti-hubs that'll act like major terminals for this new fleet of electric aircraft.
And believe it or not, the state has a really clear step-by-step plan to get this done. The near term, starting as soon as 2025, is all about getting those first vertiports built. Then, by the 2030s, the goal is to expand the network out, connecting more rural and underserved communities. And long-term, by 2050, the vision is a fully integrated statewide system with a whole lot of automation.
And here's a really crucial point. AMN isn't supposed to replace what we already have. It's designed to connect to it. The whole idea is to create a seamless network where you could, say, hop off an Amtrak train and walk right over to a vertiport to catch the next leg of your trip.
And it's the exact same idea for Washington's iconic ferry system. This new layer of air travel will plug right into the ferry docks, creating a truly multimodal system where you can switch between ground, water, and air travel without a second thought.
And here is what that could actually look like in the real world. This is a concept for a vertiport right next to Seattle's King Street Station. You can see how it plugs directly into a hub that already has trains and light rail, and it's just a short walk from the ferry terminal. This makes the whole thing feel super real and honestly, pretty close.
Okay, so what? Why does any of this really matter? Let's bring it all together and look at the real-world impact this electric revolution is going to have on Washington's economy, its communities, and its future.
But before we look to the future, we have to get a handle on the present. Aviation is already, without a doubt, a cornerstone of Washington's economy. It's a massive engine for jobs and revenue, and that's the foundation this next chapter is going to be built on.
Let's throw some numbers out there just to see the scale. Right now, the aviation industry in Washington supports over 400,000 jobs. That is a huge workforce keeping our skies moving.
And those jobs, they translate to nearly $27 billion in labor income flowing into the state's economy every single year.
And the grand total? All told, aviation generates over $100 billion in business revenues. The scale is just immense, and AAM is ready to build on that incredible economic foundation.
So, at the end of the day, what's in it for the average person? Well, we're talking about seriously reducing transportation emissions. We're talking about connecting rural communities in ways that were never really possible before. It could help alleviate road congestion and radically improve emergency response times. And of course, it's going to create entirely new economic opportunities all across the state.
And that really leaves us with this one big final thought. The vision here is a world where the skies are as open as the roads are today. Now, if that actually becomes our reality, the question isn't just about technology anymore, right? It's about us. How will we choose to use this new dimension of travel to build better cities and stronger, more connected communities? The blueprint is being drawn up in Seattle, but the answer, that's something we'll all get to decide together.